Zynga liked to draw something so much it bought the company. Games made it to political hearings in 2 countries. We get a peek behind the scenes at SimCity. Blizzard is all about the Pandaren. Good news and bad news for Dragon Age fans. Todd McFarlane spills the beans on Amalur. A best-selling fantasy saga gets the RPG treatment. And Minecraft sets a date for consoles. All in this week's edition of Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. The big news in gaming this week came from the world of business, with Draw Something developer OMG POP bought out by casual gaming giant Zynga. The price tag? $180 million in cash and stock, plus $30 million in employee retention repayments. While everybody and their dog knows OMG POP's latest creation, Draw Something, the company's actually been around for 5 years, created 35 games, and just a few months ago was on the verge of closing its doors for good. This week, however, some new numbers were released. The company makes roughly $250,000 a day thanks to the social sketch game, which has been on the market for just 6 weeks. In other interesting news, the day the acquisition was announced, Electronic Arts stock prices fell several percent as shareholders expressed their disappointment that their company didn't buy the developer. Games were also the hot topic for politicians across the globe, making headlines in both Australia and the United States. First off, good news for the Aussies. The R18 legislation for video games has passed through the lower house without amendment. The bill, which will introduce an adults-only rating to the local video game classification scheme, will now face the Senate for debate. If everything goes to plan, the changes will be implemented on January 1st, 2013. News is less good, but potentially more interesting, coming from the other side of the planet, where 2 American politicians are calling for warning labels to be attached to video games, just like the stickers on cigarette packaging. Warning! Exposure to violent video games has been linked to aggressive behaviour, the label reads. Democrat Joe Barker and Republican Frank Wolf would like to see the stickers affixed to every video game sold in the country that has an ESRB rating higher than early childhood. This means that even the most simple, non-violent, E for everyone video games designed for children will also feature the warning label designed to deter potential customers. Barker explains the video games industry has a responsibility to inform parents and families of potentially damaging content, and it has repeatedly failed to live up to it. Barker himself has also repeatedly failed. He's brought variations of the same bill to Congress no fewer than 6 times, dating back to 2002. The fact 2012 is an election year has absolutely nothing to do with his plan. On to happier things, a look at the beast that will be powering the new SimCity when it launches next year. Gameplay lead Dan Moskovitz walks us through the new Glassbox engine from Maxis.
Here's a coal power plant. It's a simulation unit. It contains resources like coal and workers. When active, it runs simulation rules that use up coal and create power and air pollution. Effects and animation are tied directly to simulation rules.
The 2-minute video also explores how terrain works and explains a little behind the movement of agents. With the game still a year or so away, the developers are working on making sure it works behind the scenes before making it look pretty, so all of those graphics are just placeholders. Blizzard Entertainment has officially launched the beta for World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria, so check your inboxes. The release came with a major information dump about the next WoW expansion, including a first look at the female Pandaren, who are pretty much just as cuddly as you'd expect. We also learned a few interesting bits and pieces beyond the new zones, artwork and instances. Game director Tom Chilton has gone on the record with his desire for a companion smartphone game for WoW. He claims a Pokemon-style pet battle game would be a natural fit for the mobile platform, and it would be something that could work really well with Pandaria. Production director J. Allen Brack agrees, but suggests you shouldn't hold your breath. The developers are never going to release anything that they're not 100% happy with, and their attention right now is on the expansion pack. It's understandable that Blizzard would want this one to be really good. Subscribers are leaving Azeroth in droves. 12 million subscribers were playing the game in late 2010, but just 12 months later the numbers had dropped to 10.3, and that was before the launch of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Senior WoW producer John LaGrave has admitted that yes, BioWare's latest MMO is siphoning subscribers, but the team is hoping that once gamers have their Star Wars fix, they'll come running back to hang out with the pandas. Meanwhile, exciting things are afoot at BioWare as well, with the news the Dragon Age 2 expansion in development has been axed, all post-release work on the game finalised, and the entire team moved across to the next phase of Dragon Age's future. Just what that is, though, remains a mystery, with a number of new rumours doing the rounds, including the franchise potentially making the jump to become an MMO. If you are in the market for a new massively multiplayer online fantasy excursion, the answer may come sooner than you think from 38 Studios. Art director Todd McFarlane, the guy who created Spawn, has announced that the follow-up to Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning is currently planned for release later this year. Currently codenamed Project Copernicus, the new game is an MMO set many, many years after Reckoning in the same setting. McFarlane claims Copernicus is ginormous compared to Reckoning and promises content that will blow your mind. Sticking with fantasy RPGs for just a little longer, Brandon Sanderson has revealed that his Mistborn novels are being used as the basis for a video game in development at Little Orbit. The game, Mistborn Birthright, is set hundreds of years before the first novel and follows a young nobleman coming to grips with his newfound allomantic abilities. It's not Sanderson's first foray into gaming either. He penned the Infinity Blade novelisation last year and has contributed to the writing for Infinity Blade 2. Microsoft has announced the latest Xbox Live promotion, Arcade Next. Expect to see Trials Evolution on April 18th, Bloodforge on April 25th, Fable Heroes on May 2nd, and blocky world builder Minecraft makes its long-anticipated console debut May 9th. Finally this week though, the stunning new trailer from Far Cry 3. Some of it's stuff we've seen before, but we can't get enough of the lush tropical island setting and the somewhat charming inhabitants. This time around we actually get to meet one, resident pharmacist, Dr. Earnhardt.
How remarkable it must be to see the world through your eyes.
Oh, this is some crazy shit.
From humanity's finer specimens to the rest of God's creatures, it fascinates me how something so pure sends the brain to the brink of destruction.
Take off! Okay.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Far Cry 3 is currently in development at Ubisoft Montreal, set to arrive on PC, Xbox 360 and PC in September. For the full version of those trailers, or for more information on any of these stories, head to playerattack.com. I'm Jessica Citizen. See you next week.